Good Tuesday morning to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City, Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Big picture, a lot of tropical cyclones in the picture, of course, off the coast. We'll cover these a little bit later on. The immediate one, of course, is Hurricane Sally. That's going to be taking a very slow boat to China and eventually curve and really not get any moisture, unfortunately, into our neck of the woods. And the reason for that, as you can see, these tan lines here, these are the 500 hectopascal thicknesses. And it basically is the same thing as the wind flow, which is basically zonal, that is west to east, or almost just about west to east. It looks like west-northwest to east-southeast. And a little bit of a trough working on through. This is primarily also sweeping in more smoke, and that's what we're looking at above our heads right now. If you look at the high clouds, it looks like some high thin cirrus clouds. Those aren't cirrus clouds. That is just very thick smoke working its way across the region. So you're looking at the European model now, and we have an area of higher pressure that is controlling our weather. This 1030 hectopascal surface area of higher pressure centered over northwestern Pennsylvania. And it is putting the block and the guard on any incoming storms right through Wednesday. This is one weather system. It does get a little bit close. It will throw a little bit of high clouds and cloudiness across the northern tier regions over the course of the next 36 hours oftentimes. But it's going to be moving on out before a cold front will then finally work on in. It's a very narrow precipitation field. This does not bode well to get much needed rainfall into our neck of the woods here. And it makes it in here, it looks like, starting in the morning hours around daybreak across the northern tier portions of Vermont. And it does spread south and east very gradually with that frontal system heading to our south. And that's going to be the only precipitation we're going to see this entire period. This is an exceptional drought that's brewing, I'm afraid. The concerns are mainly for our water tables. And you can easily look at all the streams, creeks, lakes, ponds, rivers, and you can see just how low they are, which is just very unusual. We just have not had a lot of accumulated rainfall, but just enough to add a little bit of soil moisture, and that's why things are still relatively green. But taking this a little bit further beyond the frontal system, another area of higher pressure will build into the region, and this is going to give us, again, some excellent dry weather. I say excellent, but we really need the rainfall. And looking at the 0Z information from earlier this morning as we go a little bit farther, we're noting this area of higher pressure building in. This is what's going to control our weather over the weekend. Off to the south of us, this is the leftovers of the remnants of Hurricane Sally, which is making that very slow push. And it's headed to the south of us. It is not going to help us. You can see a 1036 hectopascal surface area of higher pressure. That's valid Sunday morning. And it's going to be the controlling influence. This over here is Hurricane Teddy. It is trying to make a run toward Bermuda, but does look like it's going to advance to the east before moving out to sea, and that's good news there. The GFS Canadian Ensemble, only one particular 3-hourly QPF standing up here, and that is, of course, on the 17th. This is what's going to be moving through on Thursday. And in terms of precipitation, again, this is centered on Montpelier, Vermont. And you can see it's basically only 0.05 of an inch, and even if that, we'll have to wait and see. Not a lot of precipitation. And you can see this with the 160-hour day 1 through day 7 QPF. And you can see just 1/100 of an inch, 1/100 of an inch, and so forth, with the main tracks a little bit to the north and a little bit to the south. Of course, this is everything to do with what will be remnants of Hurricane Sally. Looking at the GFS and Canadian Ensemble, these are 2-meter temperatures. You can see the highest temperature will be on Wednesday, and then we see a sharp cold front with basically rain-cooled air and then a cooler regime. And we're looking at the possibility of a little bit of frost here for next few days to come. However, I think these are a little bit on the low side. We'll have to wait and see, but we will probably experience more frost along about either Thursday night, Friday morning, or more like Friday night, Saturday morning. And that has a possibility of seeing temperatures even a little bit colder than what we just witnessed earlier this morning. 850 hectopascal temperatures, roughly at a height, roughly about Mount Mansfield's height. This is what the temperature looks like. It gives you much better differences. You can really see the warm air advection side, and then of course colder air that works in, and temperatures at the top of Mount Mansfield do go below 32 degrees, and then we rise right back up again. Climate reanalyzer looks like this, and what we can see here is the colder air mass across Canada, really almost coast to coast, and of course warmer than normal temperatures across the west coast, and some of that is advecting around a surface area of higher pressure and then pushing east. This is also tracking that smoke over our head and across the region. High temperatures over the next 5 days, on the average, will be weighted about running about 3 to 6 degrees below normal, and it does look like about 3 days later, not a whole lot of change, a little bit more of a warm-up out in the western part of the U.S. But we're going to be locked in this weather pattern for just a little while to go. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.